Welcome to the Business Spotlight. My name is Jada Walker. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Louie Tanguay, founder and managing director of App Growth Summit. We'll be talking about his business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. So, Louie, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. I'd love for you to share with us your background a little bit and who you are, and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Thanks for having me, Jada. It's great to be on the show. A little bit about me. I was in college and I dropped out after 3 months because my one of my instructors had us do a report, a little business plan, and he's
Hmm.
like, you know what, this is pretty good. Why don't you just do this? And I said, you sure? Like, what about college? He's like, honestly, like college is a lot of repetitiveness. And he's like, for what you want to do, you're not going to learn anything more by staying in college. So you might as well just drop out and do this. So I said, well, what if I can't get people on the phone or whatever? Because I wanted to do a music magazine. Obviously, you're not going to
Hmm.
learn in college how to do a music magazine. And he's like, he said something that changed my life. And he said, you'd be surprised who you can get on the phone if you just try. And I've adopted that to my life motto of you'd be surprised what you could accomplish if you just go for it. Because if you go for something and you fail, it's the same result as if you don't try. But then at least if you give yourself a shot, you might get it. So that's been my life motto, and I've done that ever since. So I dropped out of college, said, screw it, let's go for it. And I did, and then ran that magazine, grew it internationally for about 7 years or so. Then I got kind of bored of doing that, and I wanted to always join the film industry. So then I moved out to Los Angeles to be an actor and a musician instead of just writing about it. But then when I was out there, I started doing graphic design and got a job at two different film studios as director of creative. And so I worked for Universal and another film studio as well. And then after that, the Great Recession hit, and I had all this experience. And I'm like, well, people right now during the Great Recession can't really afford me. Um, but since I don't have a job, I really need anything. So at this point, I started my own marketing agency. So then I ran that for 10 years. And then through that, I had a client that started doing events for mobile apps. And then I saw how he was running it, and I had a whole bunch of concepts that didn't jive with what he wanted to do. So then I offered to do a split section. Like, I want to do events in this way, but I'll still help you. And he was like, no, I don't want to do that. If you don't want to do it my way, then I'll get somebody else. And I'm like, all right, fine. So then I started doing events my way, but making sure that we had an opposite schedule so we weren't like competing or taking his sponsors or anything like that, so that we could
Right.
coexist. And they're still around today. We're still around today, 8 years later. So that proved that it's fine. So that's
Yeah.
why I started this company 8 years ago. And now we do about 12 to 15 events all over the world every year. And we've just had our 100th event in Berlin. And so we've had like over 100 events now. And there you go, running strong.
Wow. That is crazy because, like, you just started in 2018 and now you have over 100 events now in 2025. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes
And
we do an event every month or two events a month. Like we just crank them out. Like as you know, I'm in Brazil right now. I live in
hmm
Austin. And then I'm going to be home for 3 days, go off to LA, do something there, go up to San Francisco, back 2 weeks, off to Europe.
that's awesome. I'm like, I need that job. The heck?
Yeah, we're
That is
hiring.
so cool.
Apply.
I will look into it. So, to set the stage for our viewers and listeners, generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? I know you're obviously the founder, but are there any type of investors that you have?
That's a good question. We are no, the short answer, the TLDR is no, I'm a sole proprietor. I'm the one person. I do have advisors, I am open to an employee or two that prove themselves over the years, prove their value to opening up the ownership percentage to those who, really add a tremendous amount of value. But it's just me. And when I started this company, I had like $15,000 in the bank. And because of not trying to step on the other guy's toes, I had to basically run my life, living in Los Angeles, by the way, at the time, for like 4 months. So I had to survive in LA on 15,000 until I did my first event, which there's no guarantee it was going to work. So because of that, like I put a tremendous amount of work and effort and everything into the event. So I don't like having investors. I don't like having debt in my personal life either. Like debt will kill you more than interest will help you, So that's my personal philosophy on that. So I don't want any debt. I don't want to owe anyone anything unless they've proven it first. So people need to make deposits before they make the withdrawals, and I don't really need the money. So that's why it's solopreneur.
I like that though. Like you don't have to rely on anyone else. Like it's literally just you. I mean, sometimes it's like you. I mean, I don't know if you wish it, but I know other people probably are like, I wish I had like this other person to help me. But I mean, you seem like you're doing pretty well by yourself, and like I love that.
Yeah, but here's like kind of a un unquestioned, like you didn't ask this question, but this is kind of a tip. Um, for those who are running it themselves, you have to be able to see the forest through the trees. You have to be able to take a step back and look at your business as if it's not your business. Because a lot of
Mm,
people take great ownership. Like if you have a pet, you think your pet is the cutest pet that ever petted. You know what I
of
mean?
course.
So, but you have to be able to look at it as if it's not yours. Like it's so hard for someone to look at their baby and think, wow, I have an ugly baby. But if you could look at that baby and say, wow, this business is kind of ugly. How can I make it into a beautiful baby that everyone else would love as well? So that's kind of the secret to that. And I also say to everyone in my company, I'm like, what do you all think? Like I have some ideas, I'll throw them out. Of course, I will make the ultimate decision, or if I know something is the right way to go, I have the authority as the owner to do it. But I
Hmm.
also want to empower all of my team,
Yeah,
whatever role they are at, doesn't matter because good ideas come from everywhere. And you would hope that you hired people who are smart and talented. Otherwise, you hired wrong. So I ask my smart and talented people, what do y'all think? And it's very important as a business owner, if you want to keep your team, to know that not everything is going to be your way all the time. But
right.
it's okay that if it's like almost great in your mind, in order to make sure that your team feels, I guess we use modern terminology, seen and heard and feel empowered to be able to make decisions, because that's going to help you down the road where you don't have to do everything. You know that you've delegated the right thing, you've trained them, they're empowered to make good decisions. And even if it's not the exact thing you would do, as long as it's a high quality decision, it's fine. Empower them, make it run, and your life would be a lot easier that way.
Yeah, that was great advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe I'll make it
You're
someday.
yeah, you should write a book. That's what you should do. That would be like the best. Then, yeah.
When I retire, and then I'll do talks, I'll do the talking circuit, I'll do all that stuff. And
Yeah, because people need that knowledge.
yeah,
When
hey, if
you,
anyone wants to hire me, I can advise you for a percentage of your company or pay an hourly rate.
oh my gosh, when you look at your role, how many hours do you spend working on your business, and how many do you spend on the business, like for strategy and planning?
That's a great question. The hopefully good answer is to set up my answer as a business owner. The way I look at it is every day is Friday.
Hmm.
um, because I have work to do, but I don't have to work, but I should work. So the amount of productivity I have and I get back is determined by how much I work on that Friday. So whether it's a Monday or Saturday, like I can decide to just take 6 hours off and go do something else if I want. I mean, it's my company, but
Right.
there's repercussions for that. And at the same time, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, there's not really a day off per se. So that's why I like to think of every day as a Friday, and Friday's everyone's favorite work day, right? So this way,
Yes.
every day is like I have to do some work. I'll work on the plane, I'll work on a Saturday a little bit. I do balance things out so that I'd say my average work week now that I have a team, a talented team I could delegate to, is about 6 to 8 hours a day, 6 or 7 hours a day. Now, how much of that is spent on strategy? I don't have like a blocked out philosophy like, hey, I have to do this, then I have to do that, and I section it off. I say like part of it, for me, strategy is something that comes as it comes. And when I get an idea, no matter where I am, whether it's on a metro in Singapore, or whether it's taking a shower, or whether it's here talking to you, or talking to my team in Slack, or whatever. Whenever I have an idea, I open up the trusty phone and put the note in there, or Slack myself, or send myself an email, or I'll tell my team, "Hey, I have an idea. What do you think?" And then when they respond, then that generates the discussion later on. But I always get the idea out, give it to somebody else to validate my thought or challenge it. Say, I don't think that's a good idea, or we should do this, but later. And then if it's good enough, it'll grow and take root, and we'll discuss it more and then enact on it.
Hmm. Okay.
And as far as
Like almost,
strategy goes overall, I know where I want to go with the business from year to year. So then
yeah.
again, I bounce stuff off the team and say, here's what I'm thinking. And then I get their ideas, and then that helps me solidify it. And then I'll enact that. For example, our strategies are how do we structure our pricing, our sponsorships, our schedule for next year? What's the competition schedule? you know, how do we look to continue the growth? Who on the team is performing where they need a raise or a promotion or a bonus? Then do we have enough team members? And also getting the vibe from them. Are they overworked? Are we efficient? Do we need to add people? Do I need to shift someone to a different role in order to help out
Hmm.
the business? And are they burning out on this one thing? So it's like it's a constant organic living entity is a business.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So many business owners, especially those newer to entrepreneurship, feel as though they never have enough time. I'm curious, based on your experience, since you have so much experience, if I were to give you an extra 10 hours back each week, how would you invest those hours? Like, would it be in your business or would it be personally?
I would definitely make sure that I got my workouts in. Um, and if you're anyone who's out there, no matter who you are, you have to work out. And I'm not like a fitness person. Obviously, look at me. I'm not like ripped or anything, but it's part of your health. It's part of your health, and you should do it first thing in the day. Oh, but I got kids. Okay, well, wake up a half hour before your kids and control what you put in your mouth. You can have ice cream, you can have a snack, you can have that, but don't have that all day long every day. Don't snack at your computer. Like have some self-discipline because that'll help you in your business and everything else. I'm not going to be one of those gurus who tell you to take cold showers and do all this
Oh
optimization
my gosh.
of this stuff. But the things that everyone needs to do is you got to wake up, get your workout in, take a rest day, get your workout in, eat right. Now, it doesn't mean eat like a monk or anything, but
Right.
control your
Just eat
calories
healthy.
because, yeah, because it's going to help you in your business or anything in your life. And then you're going to
Yeah.
get sick less. And then as you get older, you're not going to be able to just keep up with the bad
Yeah.
habits. So this way it'll help you and you'll live longer and higher quality life. You'll be able to be there for your loved ones as well as your business. You'll think clearer. It all starts with health. And that's something that they say money can't buy, but it kind of can, and your time investment into that. So I would say I would definitely make sure that I got full health, cook more, because with more time you could do the things you say I don't have time. So now you do have time. Another thing I would say that is little hippie like, but if you've got loved ones that are around you, whether it's a pet or a kid or a significant other, whatever, or friends, use that time, that extra 10 hours or so, to just spend time with them, quality time. I had I had a great doggy. He's right here, tattooed on me. Look at that. That's my dog,
Aw. Yeah,
my
I
little
like that. That's so
bulldog.
cute. Did you get that
So
here in Austin somewhere?
I don't know. I had it in Singapore
Oh,
actually. So I
oh, I bet
found
it was
like
better.
the best realistic tattoo artist, and she was in Singapore in some third floor of a
Yeah.
warehouse parking lot was her studio. But that's where you got to find the geniuses, right? You got to seek them out.
Yes. It's like
It's
they're
like going up to a
underground.
cave, yeah, to find the great master. Um, so with him, I would never tell him I was too busy. And if you have kids, this might relate to you, because
Yes.
this was my kid, where it's like, hey, I want to play. It's like, I'm too busy, I'm working. Um, at the end of anything, whether it's your relationship, your life, someone else's life, whatever, maybe not literally, but you always got to think, oh, I wish I saw them again, or I wish I had 5 more minutes with them. Like if I could only just one more time. So my
Yeah.
philosophy was 5 more minutes. So steal those 5 minutes when you can while they're there. So this way, the pain's never gonna be less, but at least you never
Right.
feel like I didn't spend enough time. So spend that time like, oh, my dog would come up and be like, hey, I want attention. It's like, okay, no work for 5 minutes. Let's play. Or let's take 5 minutes off. So if you got a kid who's like, daddy, mommy, whatever, it's like, okay, let's take 5 minutes and let's enjoy this because it's not going to be here forever. So take that time. And even if you don't have anything, then take the 5 minute break, to be good for your mentals. Just take
Yeah.
time and just take a break, relax, do nothing, play a video game, whatever you got to do to just take 5 minutes here and there. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, I like that because I'm a newer mom. Like my daughter, she's one, almost two. So I'm
Uh,
definitely at that stage where she's like always wanting to be with me. Like even this morning before I left, she was about to cry and like got that
yeah,
little pouty face, making me feel bad. But I was like, girl, I have to go. Like I literally had to leave. I was gonna be late.
yeah,
But I always think like I feel like I spend enough time, but also I know I don't because my phone is in my hand sometimes. Obviously, I'm distracted, or like TV, I'm distracted. So I like that advice. Like I'm actually going to take that and use that. So I actually really do thank you for that.
cool, thanks. And it's tough because you have to teach your kid discipline and self
Mm-hmm.
perseverance, and you are going to be a self-sufficient individual. But at the
Yeah.
same time, she's not only going to be that age, she's going to go off to college and then never have time to call you, Mom, I'm too busy. I
Right.
got my own life now. It's like, what about all the what I dedicated to you for 18 years? I'm so busy now, you know? But
Really, I'm like that was me when I went to college. I like never called home, and they would call me and be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just sitting here eating. Like, what's wrong?"
living my life. Yeah, it's so
Literally.
tough. And then when your parents get too old or it gets too late, you're like, I wish I called more. And there's the 5 minutes
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Tell
everyone
me
who's
that.
listening to this, if you got a mom or a dad, call them. They will freaking love to hear from you. Do it
At
now.
least for 5 minutes, at least for the five
Yeah.
minutes. That's all you need
Say,
to
hey,
do.
I'm on the road. I only got 5 minutes. Don't talk my ear off. I love you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is awesome. Okay, so before we get into the nitty gritty of the business
Yeah.
itself, let's go into your background a bit. I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, let's talk about what led you here. So, why did you choose to go into business for yourself as opposed to choosing to work for someone else?
Well, the harsh reality is certain people are made for certain things and they're not made for other things.
Hmm.
I was never really good at following rules. I was never really good at like being a structured person who had to listen to get things done on time. And I always moved at my own pace. Now, I'm not saying I'm
Yeah,
better than other people or smarter or nothing like that. It's just, it's different, and
yeah,
I move at a different pace than other people. And whether you can consider that positive or negative, like I always say, the things that make me great in business make me challenging in personal relationships with a significant
Mm-hmm.
other. So like, because I can always see what's going to happen. I can plan for it. I say, okay, I understand what's about to happen. It's going to do this, going to do that. So I have to plan now for it. And if you treat a relationship that way, no one's going to want to have you guess what they're about to do. It's like, I didn't do anything. Yeah, but I know this is going to happen. It's like, oh my God. So, there's a plus and a minus for this, but I couldn't really stay structured. So I needed to be more, move at my own pace and free flowing, and I'm very creative. So I had
Yeah.
to, execute my ideas, and I just know that certain things have to be a certain way. And the only way that that's going to work is if you own your own business,
Yeah.
or
That makes
if
a
you
lot of
have
sense.
a, or if you have a job that completely just trusts you to just go do your thing. And at that
Mm-hmm.
point, you might as well just own your own business. I think it was on Shark Tank. I might mess this quote up, so forgive me. But they said something like an entrepreneur is someone who will happily work 80 hours in order to avoid working 40 for someone else, you know? So something like that is kind of the gist of it. Now, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you have to have work-life balance." Yeah, you do, but if you want to be successful in business, you're either going to cap yourself out
Mm-hmm.
and understand that that balance comes at a cost of not going as far as you can go unless you trust other people to take it with you, or you just have to be willing to grind. And there's a lot of negative social media about that, or positive social media, but you have to choose your path, and there's give and take. And for me, why I'm here is because I just had to, enact what I thought would be a great idea. I've always been entrepreneurial and creative in my whole life, and I've never really had a job except for when I worked at the film studios,
Mm-hmm.
because that was like film, so it was much more exciting for me because then I was the director of creative, so I could, still be creative, still work in film, still do that. And at the same time, politically, I kept running into a wall because I'm not the most political guy in the world. I just
Yeah.
say what I think. I'm from
Say
the
me
North.
either.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
when
I'm
you're from the Northeast United States, you're gonna act a certain way that's different than the West Coast,
right.
not everyone wants to hear the truth, and you don't always deliver it in the best way. So that's, as I matured in life and in business, I've learned how to say things in a better way by saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
yeah,
makes a lot
so
of sense.
that's
I feel like sometimes I'm the same way. Like I can come off, I guess, brutal whenever I say certain things, or just like I'm being rude, but I'm not meaning to be rude. I'm just trying to be honest and straightforward with people.
yeah. I can say this in 3 words instead of saying 3 sentences. Same thing. I just need you to get it done right now.
Yes, exactly.
But
So
that's
as you
where
look back, oh,
learning
no, go ahead.
how, sorry, just to finish that thought,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah, go
learning
ahead.
how to, you'll develop your own words along the way. So one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I deliver when I try to say something that needs to be said is, I need this. And it's not up for debate. It's like, oh, I need this to happen, which is
Right.
key for please do it. And another thing is when you have to deliver harsh news or someone did something wrong, it's always better. This is kind of advice for anyone who manages people. Is this was given to me, by the way, so I'm going to give it out. We use we rather than you. Like, oh, you messed up here, or you made a mistake. It's like, oh, we have this wrong. We need to change it. We made a mistake
Um,
here.
yeah,
Because
that
then
does
the
sound
person
nicer.
is attacked, but you're also saying we need to change this, we need this to happen, as
Right.
opposed to you need to do it. It's a slight shift, but it makes a big difference in how they receive it and their motivation.
I don't feel like that needs to be used in personal like conversations too, like in your everyday life, because
Yeah.
like I just got in an argument recently with someone, and I was saying you, so now I understand what they were feeling. I'm like, oh yeah, that does sound very harsh.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation with therapy and understanding how to communicate interpersonally. That's a whole different podcast. But yeah.
Yes. So as you look back on your journey so far, What has been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
I would say it would probably be growing the company at a certain point. There was a point where we had three people in the company and we were all overworked. We were all
Mm-hmm.
working like 60 to 80 hours a week, and there was just three of us. And we were making money, and I was about to buy a house in Austin. And then I looked at it, how much the house would have cost me. And then I realized with the property tax and the mortgage and all this stuff and the down payment that I could buy the house, but then I'd almost be a slave to the house,
Right.
because I wouldn't be able to hire anybody else in the business. I'd have to just literally work in that house 110 hours a week, you know?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And then how does that help the other team members who are already stressed out, knowing that we're just going to have to, they're not going to get any help? So then I looked at that and said, okay, take a step back. In order to take this business to the next level, I have to give up the house, not get it, take that money, and do I believe that it's better for the company and for me and for everyone to hire more people? And if I hired more people, then theoretically we'll be able to disperse the requirements of everyone's 80, 100 hours a week, and then everyone will be less stressed. We'll have more people to execute more things and more 40 hours a week people, and then
Mhm.
theoretically the business can grow by not putting a leash on ourselves, you know? So I
Yeah.
gave up the house, the down payment money I spent in salaries, and then same thing with the monthly thing was an extra person that I could have hired. So I went and hired four more people. And then over the next year, we started growing. And then now, 2 years since that, we basically doubled our business. And we just had a record year this year. Our people have been here now 3 years, and we're just having a record year, and it's just absolutely amazing. The team has never been better, never been in a more creative, expansive mindset. Everyone just believes in the company, loves working with each other. It's just the most amazing thing ever. And it's because I took that sacrifice to once again invest in the company and make a personal sacrifice for like, okay, I can live in a 2 bedroom townhome, but I'll have this business that can grow. And that's what's most important to me. What do I need a 3 bedroom house for when I travel all the time anyways. So,
Right.
let me just put it back into the business. Now 4 or 5 more people have jobs. Now the team is up to 8 and we're hiring 2 more positions. So we're gonna have a team of 10 people that go all over the world making record revenue and profit. And it's all because I sacrificed a little bit for myself,
Right.
for myself in order to put it into the business, and it's paid dividends.
I was gonna say I like how it worked out for you. Like you decided to just go ahead and put it all into the business, and then it's just like booming now. That's like really cool.
Well, you got to have the right strategy too. Like just sacrificing without the right strategy and without believing in it and without working hard could fail. And then you're like, oh, I gave up this for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you still got to get a little luck and the right strategy. You have to believe that what you're doing is the right thing to do and why. And you have to have a plan for how
Yeah.
you're going to do it. And in my case, hire the right people. You could hire people that are the wrong people and then you just screwed yourself. So I would identify who I knew. Okay, if I had this person and that person, that would be great. And then they each referred people that they worked with, that they recommended, interviewed them. I was like, okay, I see the vision now. It's coming clear. Like this was not a religious guy or anything like that. But sometimes, life does tell you what you should do. And you just got to listen. And, this is one of those times.
Yeah. I like that for you. Let's move on to what makes your business so special. Who primarily does your business serve? If I were in the audience, how would I know that I'm a good fit for your services?
We're a multifaceted business in the fact that attendees the attendees come because they want to learn how to either get more users to download their apps. Actually, I don't think I even explained what it is that we do. So App Growth Summit is a global event series for mobile apps to learn how to get more users, keep them engaged within the app, monetize them, and retain those users as long as possible to make as much money and grow your app. So, that said, the people that come are the apps, and they come to network, see what other apps are doing, what other people are doing. Oh, that's interesting. Now you're using AI to do this, or oh, you use that user acquisition channel. That's interesting. I haven't tried them. Um, excuse me. Or, oh, wow, that's interesting. So you're churning your users at this point. We are having that same problem. How did you get over it? That's interesting. Let me go try that. And then they listen to the panels, the presentations, and they network with other people. So that's half of it. And that's why they come, is for the strategy and the networking. Now, the other
Yeah.
side are the sponsors. The sponsors come because they want to connect with those people, because they have services that they can provide that can help these apps grow. So they can also be helped themselves by getting these people to buy their services. So it's kind of like a simpatico situation where we have these services that can help you grow. I need to grow, and we have this budget. So let's try it out. Great. Now we're all happy. And that's why they keep coming back to our events. So that's who we, I guess, use your words, that's who we serve, are both the apps and the service providers, to create a good connection and create an opportunity for them all to accomplish their individual and collective goals together. Thanks to
Awesome.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That was a good explanation. Because I was like, whenever you said that you hadn't even explained what your business is doing, I was like, oh yeah, you haven't. Like, so I like that. That was a great explanation. So how would you say your competitors compare to you?
Poorly, obviously. Not kidding. Um, you want your competition to be good enough to keep you motivated, but not good enough to threaten you, right?
Ooh,
And
yeah.
now there's one or two companies in particular that they're looking at you because suddenly their creative starts to look like yours. Or when we have speakers, they suddenly have the same speakers. Or we have an event in New York and suddenly three of our sessions that we just had in March appear in their event in July. It's like, come on, man, go do your own thing. Or pay me a sum for getting all this
For
stuff.
giving you the idea, basically.
Yeah, there's some points where I swear I joke, but you can't do this. But I would love to just send certain people an invoice for ideas. Like, you're welcome. Here's $20,000 invoice, since you can just look at what we did and just copy it. Um,
People
but
would be so surprised. They'd be like, huh?
that would be great. That'd be a good little social media tool. It'd be popcorn material, but it also, when you throw any sort of mud, you both get dirty. So it's a fun thing to say, but you can't actually do it.
Yeah.
But there's one, I don't know about competitors, but there's a giant event that happens in Las Vegas every year. So we don't really compete with them because it's a different type of thing, where we do events regionally all over the world, where they do a giant
Okay.
one event a year. Then there are some other specialized events that do a little mini tour, like one focuses on games or two focus on games. And then another one, that's another one or two are our closest competitors, but they only do like two or three events in select regions.
Mm,
Um, so we just make sure we don't have a overlapping schedule, because that's stupid. Because you don't,
right.
even if you think you could beat somebody and have a better event, why? It's like the art of war. If you ever read that book, never attack the enemy where they're strong, attack where they're weak. Or in this case, never attack your enemy direct head on when you don't need to. I can, like, if somebody has an event in London in April, I'm going to have my event in London in October, and there's no need to fight. They
Yeah.
learned this the hard way by trying to have an event in San Francisco in September when we were having an event, and then they lost heavily, and now they don't do that anymore. They learned the lesson. Because it's pointless, why are you fighting people?
Yeah.
You could just have your own spot. It's better
Right.
for
And then
everyone. And
have
it's
more of those people actually show up instead
yeah,
of them trying to decide, oh, am I going to go to this or am I going to go to this?
yeah, because we both lose a little, even the winner loses a little. So why lose at
Yeah.
all? Go have your own thing and like do your own thing. And we live in a capitalist society, so the market will determine who has the better product. You don't have to worry about
Right.
us. Go do you. We'll do us. And there you go. So we pay attention to what's going on, but at the same time, we always have this internal discussion that no one can out creative us. Like no one can be more creative than we can. Because, I came from the film industry. I've done music. I've done creative writing. I've done artistic stuff my whole life. And like I said, I've been on the marketing agency. So no one's going to be more creative than us in this industry. So it's
Hmm.
just a matter of, getting the word out so that people are aware of what we do, how we do it, and we believe that what we're doing is the right way to do it. So it's just about getting that out there, and then we'll be fine. And I don't want anyone else to fail in their life. I just don't want them to threaten our existence or what we're trying to do.
Right.
So
Right.
you
It's
can
like we can
eat,
all
just don't
work
take my
together.
food. Yeah, you can eat, you can survive, just don't try to take my food, and we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense because I don't like whenever people are always in competition with each other. Like, it's just like, why? We all, like we said, we all can eat. We all are at the same table. It's fine.
Yeah, or the table next to me, you could be at that
Right.
table.
You're the
Just
distance.
yeah, just don't grab my food and we good.
So this is going to lead me to marketing, which is obviously something that's vital for every business. I'm always curious what successful businesses are doing. So what percentage of your monthly sales typically is invested back into your marketing budget?
That depends on your business. We're at the point now where we're lucky or fortunate, or we get to, you know, um, we get to experience the benefits of our hard labor over the years, where after over 100 events in 8 years, the industry knows who we are. So we don't
Mm-hmm.
really have to spend too much money to get the word out there to sell out our events at this point, because people know us, they know our quality, they know what we do. The sponsors, we sold out sponsorships for San Francisco, London, and Barcelona, our next three events. So we're not hurting for that. So it's just a matter of like, hey, we're coming back into town. But at the same time, we know that we our benefit is finding new people. So we have our own
Mm-hmm.
methods to go out and find new people and to attend the events or to sponsor the event. So we're always looking to optimize and improve what we have to offer. We know like our happy hours, people are going to get tired if it's the same boring thing. So what theme are we going to come up with? How can we do this? And we got 12 to 15 events a year. So we have to think of like all these different themes and fun. And so our marketing is really getting the word out that way, just letting people know that we exist. If you're looking for a percentage, I would say 5%, depending on, it depends on your business and how much money you have and you generate, but you should definitely spend at least 5%, maybe 10% back into marketing. And again, it all depends on what your business type is and what your budget is and what your goals are. And, you know,
Yeah. What approach have you taken to track your leads? Do you have a CRM that you prefer?
We actually built our own CRM because the ones that
Oh,
we
that's
saw
cool.
were expensive and didn't do exactly what I wanted. Like during the pandemic, we had to do virtual events, and I didn't like any of the virtual platforms. So I got with the developer that had I worked with in the past, and we built our own virtual streaming platform. And now we still have that today. And same thing with the CRM. Like, why am I going to use Salesforce or something else when it's like it's super expensive and it doesn't do what I want anyways? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, here's what we want, and we don't need it to do this other stuff. I just need it to do these things in this order and how we want to work. So we just built our own. So, because
Cool.
And then it also, here's something else for business owners. When you build your own technology and your own products, if you're ever going to sell the company later, it makes you more valuable because you have your own owned technology. So, especially if you're a service-based company, having tools and technology will help increase your business value.
Wow, I'm glad you said that. That's a real nugget of wisdom. I like
Thank
that.
you. You get
Yeah.
what you pay for. $3.99.
So moving from marketing to sales, what does your sales process look like? Like if I were to refer you over to or refer someone over to you, what can they expect to experience as you guide them on the choice to do business with you?
Again, this is like not going to work for anybody else. Do not listen to this advice, you know? Because again, I say this with as much humility and hesitation as possible. We're at the point where we don't really do sales. Um, People know about us. They say, "Oh, what do you have available?" We tell them this is what's left and here's the price. And if it's in their budget and they want to hit that region, then they know that they need to sponsor it, and that's the price. And if not, then it's fine. Somebody else will buy it. We do the way we do it is we put together an attractive package. We know that like we have to make our offer attractive to want to buy it. And we always listen
Right.
to our sponsors anyways, year to year. And we listen to, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. Like, so like if someone's like, I need an app to connect with people, so it's like, okay, I hear that. Or I want a booth, or I want this. So it's like, okay, but I also know what our price points have to be and what we bring to the table. But I'm going to listen and say, okay, now I make proactively an attractive package for people to buy, or attractive packages based on everything that I know that they're looking for. So then we have packages of different varieties and say, okay, here's what we have, and here's what's sold out, and here's what's available. Which one would you like? And then if they buy more than one event or all the events, we have a discounted structure as well. So the more events that they put into a package, the more higher the discount. Obviously, that incentivizes them to buy more so that we have to sell less, you know? And
Yeah.
then they get to travel all over the world with us, build great relationships. And obviously, those year over year over year sponsors would get better deals and extra perks. Like this year, we had a opportunity to give someone a free speaking spot, but they had, you know, spent a significant amount of money with us over the years, and we're like, okay, we could give you this spot. It's a new thing we're doing. We're going to test out this type of format. We're not going to charge you for it, but if it doesn't work, it's not our fault. So don't come blaming me. But we'll give you this extra opportunity. And they're like, great, I'd love to take it. You know, any smart business will take anything you're offering them for free. You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
so, and they were happy with it, and we were happy with it. And we'll kind of add it in where we need to. So there you go. So with sales, I've actually never really my philosophy with sales is hard because not everyone's going to do this, and it's not going to work for everyone. But I believe that you have to have a consultative sales approach. Whereas, say, like Jada says, "Hey, I have a business," and I say, "I'm Louie, and I can do marketing." Then I would just say, "What are your goals?" And then I would just tell you what I think. Okay, based on that, I think you should do A, B, and C, avoid X, Y, and maybe Z, depending on your strategy. That's what I would do. If you agree and the budget fits, then we should work together. If not, then no worries. Don't worry about it. Then this is because to try to sell someone on your services, they might not be happy.
Hmm.
What you want from your clients is you want volunteers, not hostages. Like you don't want to get them to sign on the dotted line and then they're locked into a contract and then they're not happy because then once the contract's over, they're never coming back and they're not going to refer
Right.
people to you. It's better to just say like, now it's tough because some people like they're desperate for sales. But I would argue that when you have this consultative approach and you have the right strategy and you understand how to grow your business based on what that business is and what services you provide or products, then you will have to do less and less sales the more successful you get. because it's just like, even when I had my marketing company for 10 years, I think I did 3 cold calls ever, and 1 or 2 of them was to show someone else how to do it. Sorry.
No,
So
you're okay. That is so funny. I'm not good at sales. At least I don't think I am. I might be, I don't know, maybe to someone who doesn't really think that they're good at sales, but yeah, I've never really been good at sales. I've had a couple different
I'm
sales jobs,
horrible.
and
I'm horrible at sales. I am not a salesperson.
those
Like
people who are, I'm like, you know what? Kudos to you, because I wish I could be that person.
maybe it depends. Maybe you're better at sales because you're not good at sales, because then you're
Ooh,
just gonna talk authentically and say, this is what I would do, this is
you're
how
right.
it would help. And I'm not a salesperson. This is my sales line, is the truth. Is I'm not a salesperson. I'm not gonna push you into something because I don't want to hear you complain later, quite frankly. Like, this is what
Literally.
you got. I'm telling you everything up front. If you want to go for it, let's work together. And if it doesn't, so there's like sometimes there's a sponsor or two that it just doesn't work. And I'm not going to hold them to it. And I offer, should we let you out of the contract? Most of the time people say, no, 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 I want to stick it through. And we have a conversation about what's not working and how we can work better in our communication style or whatever. Or sometimes afterwards, this is really not good advice for most people. But sometimes when the contract comes for renewal and it's a tough go, you just have to charge more because you have to make it worth your time. If you have a problem client, then that's taking up a lot of your frustrations and they're not easy to work with, but either you need the money or they don't want to go and search somewhere else. You just have to charge more money because your peace of mind is worth something.
Yeah.
And if they want more of your time or frustrating or it's not easy to work together, you either have to fire your client because it's not working, say, I can't renew the contract, I'm sorry. Or you have to charge more money because they have to pay a tax on
Yeah.
not being easy to work with. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So you had mentioned earlier having a few team members where possible, and I feel it's important to address that topic about building a great team. What has been your approach to hiring and retaining your team members today?
Hiring, you have to see that they have the right skill set. The way I hired my right-hand person in the company is she used to work for one of our sponsors. And I saw that she would show up to set up their booth. She would show up before anybody else showed up to set up. She would set it up by herself, never really need any help, bang, bang, do the thing. And then she's like, okay, I'm done, I'm out. And before the next person even showed up, I'm like, man, she is on
Oh,
top of it. And to communicate with
yeah.
her, she's always friendly, always professional, always organized, always easy to work with. I'm like, this girl's a rock star. So one time she came to set up, and since she was done so early, I'm like, why don't you come and have lunch with us? We're about to have lunch. And she's like, okay. Then I'm like, what do you think about working with us? And then we poached her. And then she
I was
had
like, you just did the poaching right there.
yeah, and then she had somebody that she had worked with that she recommended that said, "Oh, this girl's amazing, she's newer, but she's so creative." And so I interviewed her and she was everything that she had said. So we hired the 2 of them. And then
That's
somebody else,
awesome.
I'd worked with her when she was at a couple of other companies working in the same type of situation. And we always got along and had good mutual respect. And I respected the fact that her work ethic and she was very smart and organized and stuff like that. So I hired her. And you know, and then we just look for people like that are creative, that are easy to work with, that are industrious, that are self-motivated. And because to work for me, I work in the same way that I worked when I was at the film industry, where we have like
Hmm.
you got 12 different films to work on at any one time. So you have to juggle stuff. It's a crucible, you got to pump the work out. So with
Yeah.
my team, we got 12 different events a year. So so think about this for other people that do 3 events a year, their team advances 3 events per year, right? Our
Hmm.
team does 12 events per year. our team is every year we grow in quality and experience 4 times faster than anyone else because of the repetition that we get in and this expediency we work with. We have to be efficient. You have to be that much better in order to pump out great events at 4 times the pace other people do. So when you think that our team is growing 3 to 4 times when other people are growing one, we're looking for those types of people that can handle that. And within the first event or three, it's obvious if they can't keep up. And then we're like, it's great, I can tell right away after one event if the person's going to work or not. Because you could tell if someone works. There was
Mm-hmm.
one person who she fell apart at the first event, sadly. And then someone else was like, she's not able to keep up. And then somebody else, we asked them to do a simple task, and they were like, I don't know what to do. No one asked me to do it. No one told me how to do it. Whereas other people like, okay, I got to do this. I got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times, especially in the event industry, in the event business, you're going to be at an event and it's live, everything's going, and there's no stopping. It's kind of like a
Right.
sports game, so to speak. Like if you're
Or like a
playing,
tournament, like a sports tournament, like with all
yeah,
different teams. Yeah.
or if you like basketball or American football, whatever it is, it's like there's a clock ticking and it's not stopping and you're losing right now, or you're winning, but the other team's catching up. Whatever it is, you have a challenge
Mm.
and you have to make in-game changes and be able to pivot and switch. So if you have that type of mentality, like, okay, I see what's happening now. We got to pivot. We got to move this. We got to get on top of it. And everyone at the events, when they say, "Oh my God, this event was so smooth. It was so awesome. Well run." Like, and I think, well, that's because you have no idea what we were doing behind the scenes. And that's our job. We do our job when you don't notice what's happened, you know? And the whole
Yeah.
team
It's like
just,
everything's running smooth, exactly how it should be. And it's like, that's because of us. Well, not me, you, your team.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah, and it's
awesome.
great. So I'm always looking for those types of people that are exceptional on top of things. And then how do you keep them happy? You have to empower them to make these decisions. And even if, there's a decision that went wrong, again, there's the we conversation. It looks like we didn't have the right strategy there. What can we learn from this? Not like, what did we learn? Nothing like but it's like, how can we improve this for the future? What do we, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. And like, not be like, yeah, this is the way to do it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a recap meeting to be like, okay, how should we do this in the future? And okay, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that next time. It's about staying on the team, not
Yeah.
fighting against each other, but being together, letting people know that also that my door is always open. I hate that it sounds like that's silly
So
talk.
cliche, I guess.
Yeah, but they know my Slack or my phone is always on. Anytime someone has a problem, even if they need to say, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something I'm not happy with," let me know. And they know that they're going to be heard with respect. And sometimes I will respectfully disagree. But they will always be heard and we'll always talk about it. And the conclusion will always be made with human mutual respect. No matter who they are, who I am, whatever the role is, we're still a team. And I really don't like when people call me the boss or, oh, you're my boss. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm like the quarterback or the coach or whatever. Like, I like consider myself like the quarterback or the point guard. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the game, I'm playing the game with you. I just
Right with you.
call the plays, but we're in it together, you know?
I like that. Almost like a hands-on, like because you do sound like you're really hands-on with your team and like
Yeah.
you're in the field with them consistently.
Yeah. I like to think of it like we're on the same team, you know?
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
we're in this together. But
Yeah.
without being cheesy, like we're in the same family, like nothing like
Right.
that, but we're in the same team. Sometimes team members leave, sometimes team members stay, sometimes you got to cut someone if they're not, business is very much like sports. Even if
Yeah.
you're not a jock and you don't think of it that way, like it's not bad to understand certain strategies that work because it's the same idea. Like you have a team that has to function as a unit to accomplish a goal, and there's competition. So there's a lot of similarities and parallels to the business world and the sports world. And even if you're not a jock, it could still make a lot of sense, you know?
Exactly. Because it's almost like whenever you have to work in school, like in pairs, how they would pair you up with people, and you have to like work with that other person, communicate, all of that. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's great
awesome.
because you wouldn't pick, it's better when you don't pick the pair you have to work with.
Yeah,
Because then, like that's life. You got to figure out how to deal with people that you might not get along with, or you might not agree with, or whatever. But that's part of being a, a mature adult is like, I got to work with you. We ain't going to hang out or go to each other's weddings or whatever, but we got to get this thing done. Let's just get it done and go our separate ways. But we got to
right.
respect each other to get it done and get the task done and get out.
Exactly. Okay, so
But it's so
let's
much
fast
better when
forward. Oh,
you like working with each other. It's so much better, you know.
yes.
That's where chemistry comes in.
It's like the time goes by fast and everything goes smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to make a difficult call a couple of years ago. Somebody who was with the company. I mean, they were absolutely amazing when the company was
Mm,
three people, but their personality didn't jive with a seven-person team. So, as amazing as that one person was for a certain period of time, it no longer worked. So, as we tried to do as much as we possibly could, and eventually that person left on their own volition, which was easy to go seek an opportunity that was better for them, you know, and we are a much better functioning team because of that exit. You know, it's all about chemistry and how the team gels together. And that's why it's even more important that as the team starts growing, to make sure that the team likes the person who's coming in, not just me or somebody else, but it's important that they fit into the culture or the vibe or whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
I
of
am
course.
giving you a lot of information. I warned you about that before the
Oh,
interview.
it's okay.
Cut whatever you want, but use whatever you want as well.
It's okay. No, I love it. I love whenever people have long answers because it just makes the time go by faster. But let's now fast forward and look at what's to come next for your business. So, where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, we just did 100 events. We're about to do in a couple of years. We'll be in business for 10 years. And then we'll probably get close around there or after there to our 200th event. Um, world domination, continued world domination. You know, we're adding another city this year, Istanbul. We're always looking at
You
our
said Istanbul?
location. Yeah, we're adding Istanbul, Turkey next year.
That's
This year we
awesome.
added Tokyo. So we started where it was just
Oh, I love Tokyo. That should have been on my list earlier when you asked me. Tokyo.
Tokyo is amazing. I would recommend everyone to go to Tokyo, or I should say Japan, because with the bullet train you can get to Osaka in less than a day. So go to Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo. They're all different vibes. I mean, Japan's amazing.
Yeah,
Um, every place we go to is a place that I would want to go to. Um, I'll just leave it at that. There is one city on the list that isn't as great as it used to be, but you know, it is what it is. But all the other cities are amazing and we love it.
yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
if you look at our
Okay.
list, you'll know which city that is. So, but no shade, no shade. We still love you. We'll still do the event there, but it's all good.
So, what has been your approach to goal setting? How many goals do you set at a time, and how do you document them?
Good question. For us, the goals would be how many attendees did we have? How much revenue did we generate? How much profit? Um, how's our social media growing? And stuff like that. So we always
Yeah,
need to grow the event. If you grow like an event from year to year, like 70%, 80%, you almost don't want to do that for our business because while it seems impressive, like you then have to keep up with your growth.
right.
So it's better. I learned this when I did the music magazine way back. This band told me their strategy here to so I'll see if I can reunite this together. Um, they had a hit song and they were playing shows, and they said that their management put them into purposely smaller venues than they could have sold so that they sell
Mm,
out, because it's better to sell out smaller venues than to play a slightly larger venue and some of them aren't sold out, because then it helps to
true.
protect them and then they can grow and grow the story. So I, completely different industry, but I heard that bit of advice and translated it to what we do, where it's like, I would rather have an event sell out and then next year increase maybe 50 people. Have that event sell out, increase 50 people, whatever it is,
Yeah.
or 60 people next year. Don't just have a blowout year and then next year it shrinks or it's about the same.
Yeah.
Like you have to think of the trajectory, the story that you're presenting, not only in your market. People lie in marketing all the time, whatever. No one's going to do research to check if you're lying. But at the same time, you have personal integrity,
Mm-hmm.
so we want to sell out our events and we want to grow small. Like our Paris event, I thought it was going to be only 75 people the first year. I would have been happy with that. We got like 150, packed the place in, and it's like, whoa. And then
Oh,
the next
wow.
year, it was like over 200. And we're like, okay, now we got to pack it in. Now this year, it was like almost 300. And we have to find our third venue in 4 years because it just kept growing and selling
That
out
is
fast.
crazy.
Yeah, so we're happy with that. And then
Yeah.
with Berlin, we kept outgrowing our venues in Berlin, but now we just had to expand into 2 days and not and like we got a venue that works for us and we know we can grow in there another couple of years. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for venues that we can grow into but still limit the number of tickets available, and I want to not limit them too much where your sponsors like we could have met more people, but make sure that the vibe is right. And when it comes to events, it's like I mentioned before, it's kind of organic. So you have to get the right mix. And a lot of it is based on feel, because people are going to use their feelings more so than the numbers when it comes to a
Yeah.
live event. Did I connect with enough people? Did I learn enough stuff? Do I feel like this was a good experience? So it's a lot of feeling. So we have to mix, like at our San Francisco event, we're jumping up into a much larger venue now because a smaller venue wouldn't have fit for the vibe, would have felt small. So now we have to
Mm,
take a big step, and then but now we can grow into this venue for like 4 more years now. So now we structure it to make it seem a little smaller by how we set up the stage and the room, and then we can
right.
start to expand it over the years as needed, so we can grow into it. And that's what we do with all of our events. So those are kind of our goals, is to how do we continue to grow? Because if we ever want to sell the company, you have to sell your company based on a growth story, not as a
Right.
plateau story. So you have to think, okay, how do I make this more attractive as we continue to grow year over year and tell a great story that's authentic and you can back it up by numbers if someone's looking.
Yeah.
So yeah, so growing too fast can be a problem. Like if you sell widgets, right? You could
Mm-hmm.
many orders, not be able to fulfill those orders, and then your shipping gets fine, and then you kill your company because no one's gonna give you good reviews or reorder or so it's a lot. Running a business is not easy. If it was easy, a lot more people would be doing it. You have to juggle so many different things and have like enough control to direct it, but enough like relax to be able to see its organic taking shape.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a really interesting story, Louie. As we wrap up, I have a few rapid fire questions. Are you
All
ready?
right. I will do it
Awesome.
as quickly as possible.
Okay. What is the key to success for you?
Uh, seeing, listening to your team and seeing that your business is never as good as you think, but it's also never as bad as it might seem either. Just keeping steady, keeping a steady mindset that's always like where are the problems? How can I fix it? What are we doing right? Let's keep that going. A balanced mindset, I guess. Balance. Yeah, balance.
Awesome. What is one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Do what I just said. Don't get don't get too involved in your business where you think you own it too much. Understand a business, a team, the world, markets, everything. It's all organic. It's gonna ebb and flow. Don't get too invested in the highs, thinking that you're the shit, and don't get too depressed at the lows. Get more determined to say, okay, I gotta put some more gas into this thing. Think of it like a plane. Like when the plane's going down, you're going to maintain altitude. You're going to put a little more engine into a little more gas, a little bit more fuel to keep it up. But at the same time, when you're flying high and loving life, like don't just think because you're going to start coming down if you don't keep putting effort into it. So stay balanced, stay motivated, stay pushing it with just enough energy.
Yeah,
Don't get
I like
complacent.
that.
Don't get nervous. Just stay steady, but
Steady.
motivate.
Yeah.
Motivate and steady.
This is kind of a fun question right here. If you had a little bit of magic dust that you could choose to put on one spot in your business, where would it be? Where would you sprinkle it?
Accounting and taxes and CPA and bookkeeping,
Oh my
all
gosh,
that
yes, all
stuff.
the technical stuff in the
Yeah,
background.
all the very important stuff that you can't get lazy on, but takes up a lot of your time with a lot of detail, but is super necessary. So if I could, actually, you know what that magic dust is? Is a great bookkeeper and a great CPA and a great financial advisor. That if you
Mm,
got those three things, it's like magic pixie dust. Because then they'll
yeah,
do the thing and do it well and help you on the glue of the business that is super important. Get yourself a business advisor. I've got one that business affairs person. It's like the worst thing for me is someone like me is like, oh, I got to deal with this and that and insurance and like, how do people deal with this? Like, just so you got to get the right that core team around you too.
yeah. So before we get to the final question of the day, how about you share with our audience how they can follow you, learn more, and contact you?
Um, I hesitate because they don't have to if they don't want to. If they're just curious, they could just find me on LinkedIn. Or if you want to just follow my travels around the world and see what we're up to, you can find me on Instagram. It's a public account. It's depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for business advice or something like that, then definitely hit me up on LinkedIn and let me know. If it's if you work for a mobile app, then go to appgrowthsummit.com and see if we're in a city near you and come join an event. But like, you know, I'm not gonna ask anyone to follow me. If you like that stuff, great. If not, no worries.
Awesome. Well, we've come to the final question of the day, and that is, what is most inspiring to you today?
Good question. It's gonna sound cheesy AF, but it's like working with a great team. I mean, before it was inspiring to see my business grow and be successful. But now it's like now that that's happening, the inspiration point now is like seeing how well the team works together and how much they like doing stuff and traveling the world and working together and you know meeting all these people from around the world. Like that stuff is inspiring. And when they love coming to the events, like I love 5:30 because 5:30 is the time of the day where the happy hour has just started, the event is over, everyone's in a great mood and says how great the event was, because then it's all worth it no matter how hard it was to get that event to be great. 5:30 is when we can all take a team drink, cheers, and just finally relax.
Yeah, because it's almost like you like whenever you're talking about working with a great team, it's almost like you see everything that you poured into your business coming together. Like that's kind of how I see it, like, or at least that's how I think you kind of described it. That's how I took it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like when you see the stuff coming together, it's like everyone's got an origin story for your business. Like, I started here, and you look back at where you're at now to where you were, and you got to always take a step back and be like, yeah, I hope to look back at this someday from a different vantage point of bigger success, hopefully. But you always have to like remember that every day. Okay, here's the last bit of advice we could end on. When people look back at the good old days, well, you're in the good old days now. So these are the good old days for you in the future. So enjoy it. You're in the good old days. And tomorrow, hopefully, and next week and next year are some good old days. So enjoy it while you have it, because you know what? We're alive. No matter what you think religiously or spiritually or whatever, the fact is you're here now. You're in this body, you're in this moment. Yeah, maybe life's not perfect, but you know what? You're living it. And as long as you're alive, you have an opportunity to continue to improve or to enjoy or whatever. Never let a day go by and never take a day for granted. Every morning you wake up is the best morning because you're never going to be as young as you are today. So live like it, act like it, go enjoy the fact that we're here. Now
Uh,
and if life is hard, then you have another opportunity today to work towards the life that you want to have. And,
exactly. Well,
enjoy
this
what
was
you
a
got.
great conversation, Louie.
There it is.
I really enjoyed hearing your story. Thank you for sharing. Also, I just want to encourage all of you watching to save this show and come back and watch it again because Louie really did have some great insights for business. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thanks to
Well,
everyone who joined us today, and a special thank you to Louie for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
thanks, Jada. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was a great talk with you.
Yes, thank you.